How about heavy metals? We didn't talk about that, but we should mention that heavy metals could be a cause or source. Mercury, lead, cadmium, arsenic. We've done many, many things with binders and chlorella and
Yep.
other things to move metals out. But mercury can be a big trigger of blood pressure problems, headaches, ears ringing, etc. So you may need to investigate heavy metals. And then EMF. It's not super common that we have someone that says, "Hey, I'm actually sensitive to EMF." But I had a woman in London who she found out that her Wi-Fi router was causing her headaches. And how do we know? Well, because when she turned
Hmm.
off the router at night, the headache would go away. And so I said, well, let's just try putting hardwired in and get rid of the Wi-Fi completely. And the headaches were gone. So she had mold and a bunch of other issues as well. But I think EMF for someone who's already compromised could be enough of a trigger to cause headaches.
Yeah, possibly could be. And you may not have to jump to that extreme of going hardwired. Just put your wireless, your Wi-Fi on a Christmas tree timer. So it goes off maybe around 11 or 12, whenever your bedtime is. And then it goes on maybe when you get up or a little bit later. That way you kind of have your whole entire night without any EMF going. That could be a good
Yeah.
option too.
I mean, when my wife first got pregnant with our first daughter, we did the timer thing with the Wi-Fi. Then I started sleeping better. And I thought, well, if I'm working from home during the day, what am I missing out on, or what am I sacrificing in terms of like focus and clarity? I didn't really need Wi-Fi. It was just convenient. So we just went all hardwired, and I don't miss it now that it's gone.
Yeah, I mean, it just depends on how sensitive you are with today's day and age. I mean, you could go to your Wi-Fi network, especially if you live in a big area, you're going to have Wi-Fi and 5G and 4G everywhere. So I don't know how much you can get away with it now, but the key thing is the healthier you are, the more you're nutritionally fed and rested and you take care of your body, the better chance you have to adapt to it. So the people that are more sensitive, do your best to limit your exposure. But in the end right now, it's really impossible to get away from it. Just make sure you're not living next to a cell phone tower or one of these new 5G towers. Just do your best there and keep all your antioxidant reserves and your glutathione and your nutrition up as best as possible.
Yeah, and there are canopies too. There are silver canopies you could sleep in. There's like some sleeping bags on the market, bed canopies that like look like a mosquito net that can protect you if you're in a super urban area. Luckily, my closest neighbor, they probably use Wi-Fi, but it's maybe like 500-600 yards away. So I can't even
depends
pick
on how
up.
sensitive you are, right? Most people I find they aren't that sensitive, or if they are, once they fix their diet and they fix their gut, they become less sensitive to it. I very rare that I find, let's say EMF is the root issue.
Yes.
It's usually one of those things lower on the list that becomes bigger when everything else isn't addressed. But when the top things are addressed, then it becomes less of an issue.
Yeah, totally. So that lady, once we got her on some binders and detox mold, the sensitivity went away. She said she was able to go back into town and go to the grocery store where they have Wi-Fi blasting, and she did not get headaches. So
See,
yeah.
that's good. Most important is, at least try to control it when you sleep. That's a pretty good way to do it. And then next is just do all the nutritional things. And like you mentioned earlier, we talked about heavy metals and headaches. The biggest thing with headaches and heavy metals is get your gut working. Don't come in and go after heavy metals until you know your gut's working. Work with a good functional medicine doctor that's going to do things to help bind it up. That's going to give you nutrition to help support phase 1 and phase 2, maybe give you some extra glutathione support as well. Just to make sure that we're chelating things in a very slow, methodical way and the gut's working well. So we're not reabsorbing a whole bunch of toxins we liberate.
And if you're someone who went and got your mercury amalgam fillings removed by a conventional dentist, assume you have mercury poisoning and you need to get that taken care of. If you did not go to a dentist who does the SMART protocol to safely remove the amalgam, that silver, quote, which is 50% or more mercury, got drilled out and you breathed in the vapor and it's in your brain and it is in your bones. It's everywhere. So it takes a while to get it out. So zeolite, other binders can be used. We had some lady like send us an email like, oh my God, you said zeolite. Don't you know zeolite increases aluminum in the body? No, it doesn't. That's not true. There's plenty of data on companies using professional zeolite clinically. We're testing and retesting aluminum levels and they only go down, not up. So natural binders are very, very helpful for.
I haven't seen zeolite go up. Having tested this, I have not seen aluminum go up with zeolite, but again, it all depends on the quality. There's probably cheap zeolite you can get from China that may have aluminum in it, right? So just try to make sure you have good stuff in it. And also we would never just give zeolite by itself. It'd be zeolite and some other things as well. And we'd be supporting glutathione. We never would just go all in on one thing.
Yep, exactly.